The zone wasn't capped. There's no penalty, Sassy.
Aside, and it's just you. Getting that 52 to work and getting a triple.
Hello and welcome back to the Splat World Series REWOUND, where we take a look back at the matches from SWS that were not featured on stream. Hello, I'm your caster, number 1, number 2, Inkling, and we also are here with Boo-Boo. Today we're starting with Pacdora versus PxG.
Yeah, pretty excited to see what these two teams have going on. We're going to be starting off on that Swiss round 1. So let's take a look at those rosters, see what they have for us. Starting off with PxG, going to be Gray on those blasters, Soldier on those sloshers, Goss, of course, on the gals, and Torretta on the E-liter. Pretty standard set of weapons, especially for the West.
Yeah, you know, as I'm saying, I really like Zap, but we won't see it, so maybe. We'll see. You never know. But yeah, I think it's a really strong pairing we have with Torretta on that leader. You know, the sole pick that they have selected here, which I think is really fun, and I can't wait to see what they have up their sleeve.
Absolutely, but moving on to Pacdora, going to come in with a rather similar comp. Momo on those pencils, Norishiro, of course, on Stamper, Kasiwa on the Slosher, Eddie Momo with the Gal, and Brami on the Squelchers. Now, Norishiro is going to be subbed out for Eddie Momo, so the Gal is going to be the big pick here instead of the Stamper. But again, pretty similar comps from both of them if you put aside the Squelchers.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, instead of, I guess, leader, we have the pen here on Momo, and I think that'll be a really interesting fight to see between the two of them.
No, absolutely. And I've seen a little bit from Momo, a menace to society. But that being said, the stages that are banned are going to be shown to us here, as Urchin Underpass and Bluefin Depot will be Pacdora's picks. Barnacle and Dime, Sturgeon Shipyard on PxG's. Pretty standard picks from each side, as the random stage select sends us to Hagglefish Market.
Yeah, you know, a pretty standard start map here for both tourneys and scrim alike. So I can't wait to see what both these teams have to show for us, and how they will play this common and awesome map for us today.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, can't go wrong with Hagglefish Market. That zone in the middle is turned into a war zone as things start off. High hopes for the leader, high hopes for the pen here. So pretty solid stuff from both of these teams. And again, nothing out of the ordinary when it comes to their picks.
Yeah, all right. Well, we see we're starting here. Pretty standard opening. We have the Gal looking for something here on the side of Pacdora, but we see actually the Dually Squelchers already looking for an early flank, drawing attention away and trying to collapse here a little bit on that side. But we're still kind of trying to fight in mid with the Dually Squelchers going down on the side of Pacdora. So maybe this is the chance for PxG to start something and move forward and get their splats back up.
Unfortunately, but that being put to a halt as two of their players did go down, and Pacdora has the opportunity to move things forward. Both of their teams clearing off that right side, throwing those strikes, making the opportunity for themselves and capping that zone pretty swiftly on this retake. Again, trying to make as much space as possible as the neutral state has returned to what it has started with here. Pacdora making really nice waves. I love how they're working together and just taking players PxG one by one as the short lead has been shifted over to their side.
Yeah, there was something that we saw with the Dually Squelchers where it looked like everyone was looking front, but there was the one player just kind of hiding behind that block there, and they just had this vision, and they all called it out and worked together to make sure that that guy was dead. So PxG was kind of pushed back here, but now we see PxG popping strikes and being able to kind of cap zone and stall Pacdora out of their spawn here, and being able to push back in with the Gal, especially going down on the side of Pacdora. So now we see PxG being able to move back into zone and trying to reclaim what they have in mid and establish their presence back to fight Pacdora and look for anything further, especially another with the bucket down. And we see Gray popping the splashdown, getting another pick on Eri Momo, and another one has to jump away. So now we get to be able to reestablish and push forward into Pacdora's court here.
I know, and PxG is looking great once more. This is Pacdora. No, this is PxG. As a matter of fact, is looking really good here in zone. Those strikes from Pacdora tapping the zone and into. I feel like these strikes have been an absolute menace from both sides, doing a great job at just putting that zone in their favor when needed. But penalty points continue to be applied on both sides. No clear advantages, and these teams are close in score. And despite the scrambles on the sides, I mean, again, there's no clear advantage for either of these two teams, but it looks like PxG may be looking to turn that here in a second.
Yeah, you know, as you mentioned, it's very kind of this back and forth scrappy fight where they just kind of keep getting these picks and balancing each other out almost. It's like a yin and yang where they're very just kind of clashing, getting those picks, making sure they have their side, and then clearing for zone, as you mentioned, with the strikes here. And, you know, we're seeing a lot of picks just happening on the sides and a lot of kind of waiting for strikes to be popped, like we just saw on the side of PxG, where they're able to cap zone and trying to reestablish their presence as they get more picks. But we see kind of just this fight for trying to get one down on either side and then trying to move towards their the other side so that they can really start establishing more presence. But it's just, again, this back and forth with strikes being popped in and out, and no exact lead has been exactly established here. So it's just kind of a scrappy back and forth that we're seeing here.
Absolutely. And like it's as you said, we're playing tug of war here on the zone, and just both teams are trying to find some clear advantage. Kasiwa here on the right side just trying to cause a little bit of mayhem, but nothing major still seems to be happening. PxG is still pretty much in the game, this neutral, but Pacdora may be looking to change that right now as the zone is in their favor and they're nearly done with their penalty points. So they may just be seeing a breakthrough as these points tick down, and they continue to hold their ground here. Nothing seems to be stopping them here for the moment as PxG slowly but surely is making their way to center. I do see those strikes active here from Jordan, looking for this pick first here, not finding it, losing those strikes, and the points continue to tick down for Pacdora as they still remain in control.
Yeah, we see Kasiwa actually almost just moving up here, and they're also close to strike. So maybe instead of on zone pop, it's going to be used to place forward. But with 2 going down on the side of PxG, we see that Pacdora kind of has this presence now further established. With only 5 ticks left, we're looking hopefully maybe for PxG to pop strikes, and it doesn't cap in time. And so that takes the first win going to Pacdora.
Very good game there. Again, we were playing tug of war, and Pacdora just made that last pull to really make sure that they set the game in stone. And like, I mean, you could see it on the map. The zone was pretty much yellow. Had we had a couple, like maybe even just a second, this could have looked a little bit different.
Yeah, it was really intense. That last second, we were looking at those strikes, really hoping maybe PxG could pop something, or right before, the second before. But, you know, the pressure that Pacdora had playing front was just super strong. And they were able to make sure that PxG had that 1 second of panic and delay that they couldn't pop their special in time. But here we go. We see stages banned for Pacdora that they're banning. Something... I don't know. What's something that they would ban? The Grindwater Springs, I guess, for that leader on the side of PxG. You know, we want to really make sure that our pen has time to shine, and we ban Eeltail Alley, also a good ban map for a leader, so they can kind of level the playing field here and make sure that that next win might be theirs.
Yeah, now it's just a matter of what they're picking next here. It's going to be PxG's pick here, as they did go down last match and going for Mahi-Mahi Resort, taking a dip in the pool. I like this map. It benefits their entire comp. Again, leaders do well here, especially blasters do really well here. Yeah. So I have high hopes for PxG on this map, but on the other side, Pacdora is also going to do pretty well on this map.
Yeah, you know, I hope that we see something, another tug of war, another back and forth here. I think especially with their similar comps, you know, and similar ideas how they want to move forward. We see Jordan back on bucket, so we might see those strikes come out, as well as Kasiwa on the bucket. So yeah, something back and forth might happen here. What do we think, Fufu?
I don't know. I think it's going to be really telling once the water goes down, because that's really when those edges start showing and a lot more space for players to move in. But as I say, Pacdora is going to have a crucial pick. Well, it's actually going to lose Momo. Their anchor is going to be out of the way, so that is a devastating pick off the top. But here, both anchors are actually down on both teams, and Pacdora still has a player here up in the front making waves, and PxG is going to be forced back here on this opening as the zone turns purple, 2 down on each side. But again, Pacdora has that control, has the lead, and has a little PxG in a little bit of a pinch here on this opening.
Yeah, Kasiwa looking for that shark here, looking for another one. Already kind of pressuring off of their snipe, but they go down. So now that PxG has this chance to use strikes and move forward here and try and take space off of Pacdora, and they cap zone, so we're still looking front. We see Jordan getting the pick. off of Rami here, so we get to move forward a little bit more. And we trying to shark here. We see Jordan once again looking for more picks here as whales get popped on the side of Pacdora, looking for some space being made here as they start pushing hard right here. But splashdowns are being popped, so actually the gal goes down on the side of Pacdora, and we're still kind of fighting this far right side here, looking for anything more on the side of PxG.
Yeah, and PxG is actually looking really good. The awkwardness is out of the way as the water did just drop here a little while back. Cooler is also active for the players of PxG, so they will have second chances and a little bit more buffs here to fight Pacdora here as they make their way down. Strikes come out from Pacdora, are able to cap the zone pretty swiftly as we have seen previously, and it's now their chance to get a little bit of revenge on PxG right here.
Yeah, we see still another fight happening on this right side here for PxG, and they managed to clean up fights on Pacdora, so 2 go down on the side of Pacdora, and so we're looking for the last one here as Rami kind of is forced to back up and unfortunately get picked off here. So as Cooler's being popped in zone for PxG, we're still looking to hold this area frontwards, and there's kind of a fight kind of on the left side here on our screen, and we're looking. Jordan gets a pick here on Rami, and 2 go down on the side actually of Pacdora, so we're able to hold still our spots as zone is capped once again on the side of PxG. Another goes down on the side of Pacdora, and so it looks really good for PxG. Despite the cap that Pacdora had just moments ago, we have just PxG really dominant this game looking so far.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, but Pacdora is ready to turn the tide. So hopefully I do see 3 players making their way to the center. That is no more bucket on PxG, and the strikes moving forward. That is 100% going to be capped for Pacdora. 3 down on PxG, giving them even more of an advantage than they maybe expected going into this retake. Cannot complain about having that little players on PxG. So the tides have flipped. The advantage is in Pacdora's hands, and it's now up to them to keep the hold enough to take that lead back from PxG, which frankly is very possible.
Yeah, what I saw there on that previous fight was that they're all looking for the same guy. They saw they was trying to push in through their right side, and as soon as that happened, they all called it out and made sure that that guy couldn't push any further. So here we see him just trying to hold zone, looking to tick down any more points so that they can capture the lead here, especially with 1 down on the side of PxG. Already with Pacdora taking the lead, it seems that this might be a end of the game here or something like that. But we see strikes actually coming up on the side with PxG, but Jordan goes down, only getting 2 strikes out, and it's not enough. Oh, it might be enough to capture zone, but it's not, and Pacdora ends up painting over, and that's the end of that game.
Oh my goodness, Pacdora are the royalty of taking the games last minute right there. Again, PxG was practically in control for most of the match up until Pacdora was like, okay, this is our advantage as 3 of you down, collected themselves and just saw it through. That was genuinely impressive, and I currently have 2 nickels for the times they did it twice.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see that both times it was the strikes right at the end that could have changed the tides for PxG, and had they had 1 second more to pop those strikes, and if Pacdora wasn't on their plat just destroying and looking for anything more picks front that they could, that PxG had another opening. But unfortunately, you know, with that pick there, that they only got to pop 2 strikes and couldn't recap zone on the side of PxG.
For sure. And if I'm not mistaken, it is it's not. Yeah, it is play all 3 right here, if I'm not mistaken. So that means we're going to be going into 1 more here. Pacdora could basically take all 3 games if they felt like that. But PxG, you want to take hopefully 1 more as you're in Swiss.
Yeah, we see Flounder Heights and Ship-Shaped Cargo being banned on the side of Pacdora, and we select our stage from PxG, looking for Makomart. Another good map, I think, for their comp, especially Blaster, Bucket, and Leader. So we shall see what they have in store for us.
And I love Makomart personally. There's something for everyone. Those ledge campers especially are eating very well here on Makomart, and of course as an anchor, I still like it a lot.
Yeah, for sure, yeah. So I'm excited. Maybe this is something, we'll see the strikes being popped with a 1 second and they can recap zone or something like that. That'll be really interesting. I can't wait to see this back and forth once again.
Yeah, or we could just have a major hold here, which is also very possible on Makomart, which I would be surprised if we even get to. But very chaotic opening here as we start off. Already 1 pick off in favor of Pacdora, looking for hopefully another, as that is their first zone cap of the match going in their favor. PxG just trying to scramble and find hopefully some picks here. Are able to find one on Rami. Nothing too crazy happening so far, except for PxG moving together as 1 whole unit, 2 down on Pacdora, and looking to take the zone for themselves, doing so successfully, and now pushing Pacdora back further than they maybe wanted here.
Yeah, we saw, you know, they took that stack with such confidence and they ended up going 2 down. So we see Momo getting a pick here, actually, on Goss here. So we are able, maybe gets 2, also gets Jordan. So we maybe get a move back here on the side of Pacdora. And we're looking for any advantage further here, looking for their stack. Momo still painting front, making sure that their team has space to move. As 2 actually go down on the side of Pacdora, maybe biting off more than they can chew, but they regain lead here. Jordan looking for something further here, looking for the pen, looking for space to help their team move forward, and they get Momo, so 2 go down once again on the side of Pacdora. And so we see, even though they had such a strong opening here, PxG being able to take the lead once again and looking for more fights and looking for more space forward here.
Yeah, I love how they're taking those crucial picks. Again, taking Momo out is such a big one, and they actually took Momo out again, and another gal on top of that. Those strikes for Pacdora do make their way onto center, but aren't fast enough to cap the zone, as PxG still remains in control. If they continue this way, they will be taking the game in a knockout right now, but they are losing a player at a time, so this could be the hole in their strat that gives Pacdora the chance to cap the zone once more, but they're holding strong as they can. But Pacdora now has those strikes online and all their players forward, so that means that zone is theirs, and so is hopefully more space in this. Oh, more space indeed.
Yeah, we saw Jordan at least going up on the side of Pacdora, but they were just so blocked out by Pacdora's presence, and so they had to force back, and that just ended up being what Pacdora needed to move back in. And so now we're seeing once again Momo pinning this this right side for them, looking for Rami to get any for the pick in the freezer here, looking at Goss, trying to fight anything, still holding space forward, but unfortunately gets picked off. So maybe we see Gray being able to move on to stack here, being able to pressure and move him back, gets another pick off on Kasiwa. So now we see PxG being able to move forward. We see Splashdown being popped on zone, 2 go down on the side of Pacdora, and Gray is being able to move all the way up here, already pressuring Momo, as you mentioned, that if they could get that pick, but they jump out, and so now we see them just hold their crucial spots here. Strikes are back online with Jordan here, looking for just another pick off on the side of Pacdora. So we might see something really strong here where they just get to hold their spots, and this might maybe as 2 go down on the side of actually PxG. So maybe Pacdora gets to go back in here and reclaim their front spots here.
And something crucial to note as Pacdora is retaking beautifully is that they already have the lead. They are in control right now, and if they could just knock out after these penalty points, they're looking at a fine 3-0 in the set. But they got to get there first. They got to work their way through right here. Beautiful picks going on here on the right side. But Goss is going to put an end to that, bringing that cooler to their teammates. So just trying to give them another opportunity to move in. Unfortunately, only just a wave breaker on the side of specials for PxG. Hopefully waiting for another one to move forward outside of the cooler. But as the players are forced to fight with their mains, they're unfortunately not doing the best that they want to. Half down on PxG, only to comparing to the one on Pacdora, and they will be in control of the zone once more, putting PxG in quite a tricky position as the game continues.
Yeah, you know, we see strikes on the side of PxG, so they might look for something here, look for another zone capture that way. As we see the splashdown being popped, but 2 go down once again, 3 go down on the side of PxG, with the last fight being here, and they go down. So we see Rami being able to just hold this right side for free and continue to get picks and help their team move PxG to that left side, actually, so that they can continue their reign here with 5-4, 3 points ticking down. We see just Pacdora holding and showing their dominant gameplay here, just being able to zone PxG out.
Yeah, no, it feels like when Pacdora really has a good offense, oh my goodness, they have a good offense, and especially when they know they have a game to close out. We've been seeing that all set, and that shows why they 3-0'd in the first place. Beautiful stuff.
Yeah, I think what's really interesting is that the really strong capping tools that PxG has, like strikes or splashdown, is something that they can really get in with, but they have to kind of rely on it. Here we see a really strong opening from Pacdora here, and how they're able to just zone PxG out, especially just making sure that they're focusing the same fights. We see 3, but the 3, as we mentioned, the 3 going on the side of PxG to the 1 stack, and being able to control that area and just getting picks off on Pacdora.
Yeah, Pacdora was just the experts at, seeing opportunities and taking them, and we see why they won the way that they did. So really good stuff from both of these teams, but Pacdora is going to be taking that 3-0. Looking at some of these replays, some of their big moments here, they were able to take a lot of good picks. I'll take it. Look how they take attention. They're like, okay, I'm over here. Okay, we're gonna crossfire. Oh crap. You know, they were doing really good at separating PxG and just taking advantage of those small opportunities.
Yeah, and even if one goes down on the side of Pacdora, you see how the rest of their team are able to follow up. Where we see Rami gets one pick on Goss, and even though they go down, we see that there's still fighting happening and making sure there's paint over on that side to really back them back up and get that space, even though we're looking on one side, get that still in control for Pacdora.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful stuff, if I do say so myself. But that does, again, wrap up that match with Pacdora on the 3-0. Really strong start to the Swiss, if I do say so myself. But that, again, wraps up today's Splat World Series reround. I am Fufu, joined by Ink, and this will be us signing off. See ya.
I've been trying to fight